How are we doing? So Jacob checking in here again, and if you haven't actually been following my blog recently, I think you really should, because I do want to expand on my last post a little bit, and this post is a bit on stress. Okay, so I've titled it "Key Factors Linking Stress to Anxiety Attacks." And I'd like to, I guess, explain this a little bit more, and you can let me know about your thoughts. Okay, so so let me just read a quote from my blog here, what I wrote in this last post. So, stress affects us all in many different ways. For those of us who suffer under the hand of anxiety, stress can be a really big problem. I like to call it the poison of the modern age. The reason I say this is because it is modern society that seems to cause a problem. Right from when we are born, we are conditioned in so many ways by our parents, teachers, peers, politicians, and more. It all happens from day dot. We are told to shut our mouths while the big people speak. To raise a hand in class when we have a question. To not talk to strangers because it is creepy. We need a degree for this, we need a diploma for that. Being asked, what are you doing with your life? And being told, you're doing nothing, get a job, when we don't know what we would like to do with our own life that would be rewarding and fulfilling. All because of this confusion that is being bashed into our peacefully raw minds at a young age. Okay? It is from there that we carry this emotional and highly mental baggage with us on our journey through life. The conditioning of modern society has trapped all of these rules in the memory of our bodies and mind. You have a mortgage to pay, debt to clear, bills to pay, and you need a job to get that done. You're a lone wolf, you against the world. And it has to make you think. No wonder why we have so many people in the world that stay comfortable in their 9 to 5 jobs, paying their bills and debts like the good citizen they are. It makes sense, doesn't it? Who would bother to have the courage to take a path in life that aligns with their own beliefs and passions, when they are already slugging it out, 9 to 5, with no risk of being unable to pay their debts? Because if you ever dare leave that job with security without a proper strategy in place, then the bank is going to come after you. For what? Money. And so a huge role that plays into the stress you are feeling today is money. Though money can be amazing, especially when you have loads of it, money is that one thing that dictates your life if you let it. And I would say that it does for most people out there. Without money means no food, no car, no food, no house, no car, no food, no shoes, no toothpaste. And money is something that the human mind has invented. Money, or should I say currency, is what drives this economic machine that drives this modern society we live in today. And if we had grown up without the conditioning we are put through at such an early age, we will instead become observant of the machine. We will instead notice it for what it is, leading people to punch in their hours to drive its cogs and then to rise the next day to do it all over again. And it is these sorts of people who become more and more detached from the calling of their hearts. These are the people who pay their taxes obediently and book their 2 weeks of leave for a temporary pleasure just so that they can throw themselves into this repetition again. And it is, sorry. The point that I'm trying to make here is that modern society does not align with our evolutionary instincts, therefore causing stress for us in today's day and age. I'm just going to stop there for a second, okay? So I hope you are following quite a bit of that, okay? So what I want to sort of expand upon here is that the genetics that are within all of us in today's day and age, all 7 billion people of us in the world, we have very caveman-like instincts. So these instincts are attuned to what should have kept us alive, back 10,000 years ago. So if you think about 10,000 years ago, now also talking about this topic of stress, 10,000 years ago, stress was a really good thing. Stress always kept us alert and active, and it allowed us to respond to dangerous situations right away. It allowed us to, run away from predators that were chasing our asses. It allowed us to hunt down prey and quickly, and to eat them to survive. If we didn't have stress, you're not going to exactly have that fight or flight response mechanism in you to get you going. It's not going to keep you alert enough to stay alive. So now, if we fast forward 10,000 years later, we live in modern society. We work 9 to 5 jobs in offices, whatever. That seems to be the common thing these days. So the difference, right, is that we can now, in today's day and age, we can just walk into a supermarket and just, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Ooh, premium beef mince or just the regular beef mince of about $3 a part. I'll grab the premium, whatever. We can just, food is at our disposal. We just go to the supermarket and we get whatever the hell we want. So when your body is instinctively attuned to stress that is meant to come from real life dangers, it doesn't quite work that way in today's day and age. We don't have those stresses anymore. So what your body is going to do is, it is and as I said before, it's a very caveman instinct. So now, if you're working, a job that repeats day to day, you're doing the same thing every day, same shit, different day. What's gonna happen is that your body is going to become stressed. Your body and your mind is going to become stressed out at very regular and ordinary things, because we, as human beings who have evolved to respond to stressful situations where we've got saber-tooths chasing our ass and trying to eat us, in today's day and age, the closest thing to a threat that your body will perceive as a threat, the closest thing your body is going to perceive as a threat in today's day and age is going to be either like a social situation, or it's going to be something to do with finances, or something to do with your relationship, your, whatever. And because your body is expecting to become stressed at imminent danger, and that because none of that imminent danger is present in today's modern society, it is going to stress out at the smallest little thing possible. It's going to try and fix that stress to at least something. And the closest thing that's going to happen to stress out to is, is to today's, social situations, peer pressure, whatever. And this leads me to my next point. You need to change. You need to make something different every day. So every day, you're meant to do something a little bit different, because if you're doing the same thing every day, your body is going to become very attuned to what you're doing every day. Your mind is going to attune to this robot mechanism that just keeps you on that same path every single day. So the thing is, if you do the same thing every day, it's going to stress your body out even more, because your body is looking for something to stress out at, and there's no new situation for a stress out at. So the reason why, your tolerance level is going to go from, if you're doing the same thing every day, your tolerance level is going to stay here. So you're pretty tolerant to stress, when you're seeing something every day and things are a little bit more spontaneous, things are a little bit more exciting and dangerous, okay? Your tolerance level for stress is going to be, at a pretty normal tolerance, a pretty nice and standard. Possibly people who are adrenaline junkies are going to see this. And with doing the same thing every day, your caveman instincts that have not caught up to today's day and age in modern society, your caveman instincts is not going to, it's just not going to function. It's not going to be able to put a finger on what's going to kill you, what's going to help you survive. That is non-existent because you're parking your ass on your chair every day doing the same shit. And when you're doing that, it's very detrimental to your body and mind, because if you think about it, it's going to, your stress response tolerance is going to drop. It's going to drop so much. And when you're less tolerant of stress, when it's going down, you're going to be highly alert. So then what's going to happen is your level of alertness and hypersensitivity and hyper-awareness to everything around you and your social situations and your not very normal situations within your environment is going to shoot up. As your tolerance for stress goes down, your hyper-awareness and your hypersensitivity and just your nerves you'll feel it in your body. You'll really feel it. You feel the tension. It will go up. And that's a very bad place to be in, because if you're in that position of high stress and high nerves, you're going to get a panic attack very, very quickly. Because do you know why? I think the reason why you're going to get a panic attack very quickly, modern society has fucked around with our evolutionary instincts. Like, our evolutionary instincts do not match the dangers of modern society today. Sure, you could come across the odd thug or the odd mugger or the odd person who's chasing you down the street wielding a knife. How often does that happen in your life? So what I'm trying to say here is that if you're living in a society where you can just go to the supermarket, get food as you please, and then keep doing the same routine every day, your stress levels are going to go up. Simple as that. If you think about it, why do you think sugar tastes so sweet? That is because 10,000 years ago, sugar was a rarity. Sugar was rare. You couldn't find it anywhere. So evolutionarily speaking, your body is going to reward you with a sweet taste in your mouth because you found sugar, So just think about that as well. It's a very, very clear example that evolution hasn't caught up to how we live in today's day and age. Evolution hasn't caught up because, there's, for one example, you've got sugar that still tastes sweet, and sugar is everywhere. So bear that in mind, that evolution has not caught up. I'd like to leave you on another excerpt from that last blog post of mine. Just try to find it. Here it is. Okay, so another point I'd like to make in managing stress is to stop following the same path every day. What I mean by this is that you need to do something a little bit different each day, or even better, to go somewhere different. You are screwing yourself over by seeing the same thing day in, day out. Think about what this is doing to your mind. You are not distracting your mind with new things. Each day you are catching yourself up in the sea of familiarity. In that sea, you are going to come across problems that you are going to overthink. For example, you have been working the same job for a year or two, doing the same thing each day. The desk that you sit down at has always been the same, while you turn on that same computer while having that same conversation about the weekend with the same people you know. Eventually, you are going to be so caught up in this Groundhog Day routine that you're going to encounter unnecessary problems with coworkers, computer breakdowns, that important email you forgot to send, or the way that usual coffee you're sipping tastes different. And what are these things going to do to you? Burden you with stress. It will get to a point until your mind has instinctively perceived these worries as threats. What next? Breakdown. Following, guys? AKA panic attack. Why? Because adrenaline and cortisol have flooded your body. Because why? Flight or fight response has kicked in. Your mind has alerted danger at what the average person would call ordinary problems, but not for you, because each day is the same for you. Those are my ideas, okay? No wonder you're going to get a panic attack so easily in society today. It's because our brain cannot pinpoint, cannot put a finger on what is going to happen in your life that is going to cause danger for you. So, I would like to sort of summarize with this, that do something different every day to get you out of the cycle of day-to-day work, because that's going to provoke anxiety over things that are not of real danger to you. Do something a little different, do something that's a little bit more spontaneous, like I go to the beach, for example, instead of, going straight back to home from work, because I'm still attuned to my body. I feel like when I'm when I'm feeling hyper aware of my body, that I've been doing the same thing all day. Wake up, have a shower, go to work through peak hour traffic, come home, take my shoes off, lay in bed, whatever, go to gym, whatever. If I break it up by, say, going to the beach every now and then, it's a new experience. And what that's going to do to your mind and body is that it's going to break that cycle. And you'll find that your tolerance of stress will go higher, because you've got a new situation happening in front of you. And I'm not saying that this is going to reduce your anxiety like a miracle in any particular way, but it's certainly going to stop you having anxiety and panic attacks over stupid things every day, such as, like, if you're feeling dizzy, maybe because you haven't eaten properly, which could be a pattern in your day-to-day life, or that you can feel your heart. Oh, that's a good big one. So if you're feeling your heart going nuts, going fast, really, really fast and everything, if you put yourself for example, at the beach and look at the water and just keep in the serenity of all the good things they're having at the beach, the hot girls, the crashing waves, the sun on your skin. It's going to alter your state of mind. It's going to bring those stress levels lower, and you won't so much notice the beating of your heart anymore or whatever, because you are reveling in an experience of something different. And what I also like to finish up with is that you should even maybe go for a swim. That will get your heart racing. And once you've gone for a swim, you've actually given yourself a reason for your heart to race. It's happened to me and I've been fine with it. Because your body's responding to a new situation that could potentially mean life or death, but that's very, very, very dramatic of me to say, but it's much more of a completely more dangerous situation than sitting in your chair in your office typing on the keyboard. What I'd also like to finish with is make sure you are screaming at the top of your lungs. Find a quiet place and scream at the top of your lungs to release all that tension that you've accumulated during your day at work or your routine. Just scream it all out. That shit isn't meant to stay there. You're being really, really cruel to yourself. Just let it out. I do it while I'm driving. Just scream. And also throw your body around and cry and laugh, because it's all trapped energy that needs to release. I think that should just about summarize everything. So guys, if you haven't actually seen my blog yet, I'd very, very much highly recommend for you to visit my blog by going to anxietystation.tumblr.com. I'll put a little message thing down here as well. And yeah, this has been a very long video, but I hope this gives you some insights into stress and how you can deal with it. Do something different every day and scream the tension and cry the tension away. You're not a pussy if you do it. If people think that, they can go fuck themselves. Hope you like it. Have a good one, guys. Love ya.